Everybody, how's everybody doing today? I've got the scrolling, so I'm not sure if we're actually live yet. I'm gonna stall for a minute here. All right. Hey, good morning. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late today. Just getting my getting my week going, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. So my name is Crispina French, and I am a creative textile recycling environmentalist. Um, I am an empowerment coach, and I'm a screen printer. And there's bees flying around my studio. Anyway, I'm here to. I'm working on a 30-day series, a little mini series of textile recycling tips and tricks and encouragement to help us kind of regain a little bit of positive and uplifting uh, segment of our day. So every day from now until August 11th, I will be right here with you live. And if you are not able to tune in at 11 on a daily basis, you can see recordings of all of these episodes here on Facebook, and they'll also be posted on my YouTube channel. So I'm glad you're here with me. If you're here for the first time, there's a couple fun little things you can do to help me build my audience and also participate. So if you are enjoying this segment and you have enjoyed past segments, feel free to tag friends in the comments, and let's build up our community a little bit and get some fresh faces in here. So if you tag your friend and then pop me either an email or a direct message with your mailing address, I will send you a screen print. And let me see. I'm going to show you the same one I've been showing you for the last couple of days. This is, whoopsie, this is a screen print that I make with another company that I run with my sister called the Dolphin Studio. And they're 6 by 9 inches, and they're frameable, signed and numbered by the artist. And they're all different. We have a whole collection of them. So that one, the I'm Thankful for You one that I've got here, is just a sample of many. So I'm not sure how many of these we have left, but we have lots of other ones, and we make new ones all the time. So thanks for tuning in. And today we're going to talk all about some hand sewing tools that I use on the regular. So I sell these little packs of, this is an embroidery floss pack. Um, and the little envelope that it comes in is an off print from the Dolphin Studio that makes the screen prints that I send out. So the Dolphin Studio is a business. I'm just going to do a little bit of um, I can't think of the right word, self-promotion right now. The Dolphin Studio is a family-run business that my parents founded in 1970, and my sister and I now run the business. And our kind of signature product is a calendar. So right now we're working on the 2021 calendar. We have a small print team. There's 5 people who work here working on the calendar, and it took us a little bit to get started this year. We normally start printing. We do a run of anywhere between 2,500 and 3,500 calendars per year. And we sell out every year. Each page is designed by a different family member. And we started a little late this year because of the COVID virus, and we weren't really sure how to keep our print team safe and get our calendars made. So everybody's downstairs wearing their masks, and actually I make some really cool masks that are in my shop if you're interested. So, we're washing hands a lot, we're using a lot of hand sanitizer, we're wearing masks, and just really hoping for the best. We have a really precious team of amazing people who have been with us for several years now, so it's pretty fun. And my niece, Lily, who's third generation, is the person who's kind of organizing our print team this year, so that's pretty awesome. So hey, Lynn Liston, how are you today, my friend? Okay, so let's get started. I want to show you a project. Hold on, I just have to grab it. All right, here is this kind of ongoing project. This is one of my favorite garments. It's really awesome hoodie, and it's made by a company that I support, American Giant. I've had this hoodie for, gosh, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. And I wear it when I screen print, so there's all kinds of like ink and stuff on it, and it's got a print on the back that's probably going to be super hard to see because it's really dark on dark. But it's from a music festival that that one of our print team members runs. It's called Old Tone, and sad to say, Old Tone has taken a year off because of the pandemic, so we're not going to be there this year. But I am working on this garment, and I'm stitching. I'm actually going to take the very dark on dark print that's this beautiful bison head with lettering that you probably aren't going to be able to see because the quality of my video is not great and the lighting's not super either. I'm going to go over that with embroidery. So today we're going to talk about embroidery. So I have these envelopes in my shop, and every season I introduce a new palette. So this is the summer palette for 2020, and the envelope is reusable, so it opens this way, and here's this little piece of fabric that's attached inside is like a needle keeper. So you can take a needle that you're using and just tuck it right in there to keep it, okay? And then inside there are 8 different colors that are all kind of, I get my inspiration from the garden for the palette this season. So really bright flower colors with a, there's always one variegated color included. So this one's like a really super awesome kind of bright green going toward yellow. So each season I make a new palette, and I have just a limited number of them for sale, and there's still a couple of the summer palettes left. I think actually there's probably like a dozen of them left. But anyway, don't miss out because they're super fun. So the first trick I'm going to show you, and I've shown this before, but I think it's really important just to reiterate because it's so confusing for some people. When you get started with embroidery floss, first of all, embroidery floss comes in a million beautiful colors. So it comes in these funny little skeins. And one of the things that's a little bit of a conundrum to me is why they make the skeins so hard to use. But there's 2 ends. There's one end here that you can see kind of poking out. And then there's another end on the other side that's it's actually right here. Can you see it? Just right here. That little piece. So I'm going to pull this end straight out this way. And that usually works without a tangle. Sometimes you run into a little tangle, but today is our lucky day. Okay, and then I'm going to use my amazing Ernest Wright, the nicest scissors in the world. Can you hear them? To snip. Okay, these are my Dressmaker Scissors, and I sell these in the shop. They're on back order right now. Those guys have been really working hard over there. They're from Sheffield, England. Talk more about them. Actually, I did a segment on scissors a couple of times, like last week sometime. You can check it out if you scroll down. Okay, embroidery floss comes in, there's 6, they call them ends. So there's 6 little different threads that are all wound into one thicker thread. And depending on what you're working on, you can use as many or as few ends as you would like. So if you're doing very fine work like counted cross stitch or something like that, you can use a single thread, and it's just very fine, and you'd use a little tiny needle to go with it. Now today we're working on a sweatshirt that's pretty heavyweight, so my fabric weight and my needle weight and my thread weight are all going to kind of match together. So today I'm going to use 3 ends, which means I'm going to divide it in half, and I'll have the ability to use both halves equally. So to do that, I'm going to separate the 6 into 3 and 3, and then I'm going to put my finger right in the middle of that Y and just gently pull it down. And this is a really good trick because oftentimes when you're separating embroidery floss, it gets very tangled, and tangles can be super frustrating. Okay, so we have it separated now. I'm just going to pull out 1/2 and stick it on the side. And then I have this other half that's here, and I'm going to just show you my little trick. Okay, So I've got my embroidery floss separated. Now inside this little pocket is this is a little needle book. And today we have the matchy pockets. They're not always like that. They come in all different colors. There's all different um, shapes and colors. But anyway, this is the one we've got today. So this is also a reusable package, also made from Dolphin Studio off prints. And inside there is a little needle book with 6 assorted sized needles. Now, the needles that are for sale in my shop come this way, which are all assorted, or you can get like all yarn darners, all embroidery needles, or all small hand sewing needles, or like thread sewing needles. So this one is an assorted pack, and you can see the range of sizes. So this is a yarn darner on the top, and then we have an embroidery needle, and then 4 just hand sewing, different size hand sewing needles. Oh, I'm so glad you found it helpful, Valerie. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome if you're new here, and thank you for being with us. Yeah, Carolyn, thanks for posting that. The Dolphin Studio, she just posted a link to the Dolphin Studio website where you can learn all about my family business. Okay, so today I'm going to pull, because this sweatshirt is a little bit on the thick side, I'm going to pull just one of the medium-sized needles that I have there. And I'm going to get my yellow floss that I have, and I'm going to do this trick. So another little super handy tool that I sell is this little beeswax cake, and it's got a little bee on it with little honeycombs around the edge, and these are made for me from some dear friends of mine have a beautiful little business, and they make beeswax candles, and they make me these threading cakes. So this one's been used a bunch, and I'm going to hold it up close. Can you see how the edges are a little, like, they look like they have little teeth on them, and that's just from pulling the thread through. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your embroidery floss, and you're going to hold your thumb on the cake and just hold it down and pull it through. And this is called loving your thread. And it keeps your thread from tangling. It makes it nice and easy to thread. And it's just a really nice finish for sewing. It doesn't really change the appearance on the finished work, but it just makes the whole process of threading and stitching really pleasurable rather than frustrating and tangly. So I just did 3 pulls on one side. Now I'm going to do the other side. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now I'm going to take the end and I'm going to snip it really close to the crease of my finger and thumb. And this lesson I feel like I've done a lot of times, but I feel like it's one of those things that you can never do too much, because it's really, if you can get to a point where sewing and hand sewing is not frustrating, it becomes like this methodical, kind of meditative, awesome kind of headspace to get into. So I cut the thread really bluntly. I put it right down in between my finger and thumb, and then just work the eye of the needle right over the top of it. Okay, so I'm going to pull that side through just a little ways, and then I'm going to knot this side by just rolling my finger and doing like an overhand knot. Can you see that? It's just a little knot. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so now over on this jacket, I'm going to be working on a leaf shape. Does anybody else have, hi Eileen, how are you, honey? I'm so glad you're tuning in today. Welcome. So I'm sure that if you guys have questions, you can pop them right in the comments. And I'm just going to show you a quick little stitch here. And this lesson is really more about the floss and the needle. Wait, there we go. Sorry, the camera is a little backwards. So I'm just going to start my thread inside the fabric there, coming through at the point. And one of the things I love about applique embroidery is that you can cover up holes and stains and imperfections. So this jacket, like I was saying earlier, has gotten used for, it's like my, I wear it at work a lot. So it's got a lot of screen printing ink, but I kind of feel like it all kind of adds a little bit of awesome to the finished garment. And when I'm done with the stitching, the light seems really weird today, and I'm not sure what's that about. Let me see something. I'm gonna see if I can shut this light off and see if that makes it better. If it's better or worse. So hold on 1 second. How's that? Seems a little better, does it? Let me know. Let me know on your end how you think it looks, because it's kind of sketchy on my side with that light on. It was really kind of hard for me to show you and feel like you could see. So there are my little leaf stitches, and then I want to show you one that I've already completed. There's one that's done already with green. Okay, so that's what we're all about today. We're talking about materials, and you can use, so the little pieces that I cut out, you notice I didn't have any pins. You can use pins, and I have some here, so I could just pin this down this way. Sometimes my pins get a little dull because I beat them up. You could pin that in place. The way I got them to stick without pinning it in place is by using a material called Wonder Under. And that sounds a little dirty, doesn't it? Wonder Under. It's actually one of my favorite tools. It's a fusible material that you can iron onto the back of a fabric, and it makes the fabric almost like paper in texture, and then you can cut out intricate shapes like you would paper. You peel the backing off, the papery stuff peels off, and the adhesive stays on the fabric, and then you can iron that intricately cut piece onto any fabric and stitch it in place. You do want to stitch it in place because it's not permanent. It's just like a light adhesion, so you don't have to pin it, and it removes any puckers or anything like that. So 4 tools from my shop today. We're talking about Wonder Under, which I sell as well. We have the embroidery floss palette for summer 2020, which here are the colors that I mean, honestly, like, who doesn't love those colors? They just remind me of my flower garden. Right now we have amazing snapdragons, we have echinacea, coneflowers, we have monarda, what else? Sunflowers, big, beautiful sunflowers are blooming. Calendula. Oh, I love flower gardening. So that's what inspired my palette this summer. And then we have the needle books, and these, like I said, they come in a whole bunch of different, you can get the mixed batch like I'm using today. That's all the different sizes. And you can also get each individual size, like if you would, the yarn darners, the large size needles are kind of hard to find. So I sell those in packs of 5. The assortment comes in a pack of 6. And then the scissors, so that's actually 5. The scissors there's a whole segment I did on scissors a couple of days ago, so if you want to learn more about cutting tools, you can scroll back in the feed. So as always, if you are interested in learning any part of my process that I haven't touched upon in my live feed over the last couple of weeks, shoot me an email or pop me a comment and let me know. Any questions are welcome. I have had a couple of questions about my business and about starting a business and how that goes, so that might be something fun to talk about in the future. So if anybody has thoughts or ideas, pop them in the comments, and I hope you all have a really great Monday. It's so nice to be here with you, and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy lives to spend with me. I really appreciate you. So have a great day and keep shining on. And the other thing I want to tell you is that I've been reading a lot lately, and I have read 2 really interesting articles, and I'm going to post them up on my Facebook feed once this session ends, so you can take a look. One's about hopelessness, and how that might actually be a good thing. And the other one is about intersectional environmentalism. And that is, I think that's a kind of a new term that's been coined by a gal who I'm embarrassed to say I can't remember her name right now, but she is this beautiful young woman of color who is an environmentalist, and her whole intersectional environmentalism incorporates people with the environment, which is kind of like what I've always done as well. And I just never put a name to it because, in my opinion, like we are actually part of the environment. So, of course, people are included when I talk about environmentalism. And her spin is like, and it's true, and I've known this for years, that people of color and low socioeconomic earners are much more greatly impacted by environmental catastrophes than privileged white people. And it's really apparent. Like if you look at all the BP oil spill data, I have a girlfriend who's a reporter, and she does a lot of investigative reporting around the fossil fuel industry and the environmental mishaps that happen in that industry and how they really affect people who are poor and of color at a much higher rate than they affect wealthier people and white people. So intersectional environmentalism kind of combines those two sort of schools of thought into one package. So it's nice to know that now I have a coined term. I am an intersectional environmentalist, and I really work hard at shining a light on people who are doing really good work in those areas. So I look forward to, if you have suggestions or you know people who are working in these areas, please share, because I think it's really important for us all to have, share the, it's the more the merrier, right? The more people we can kind of jump on the bandwagon with all of this goodness that we're putting out into the world, the better. Joanne Richards is asking if I have deer eat our coneflowers. I do not have a fence, and the deer do not eat my coneflowers. I don't know why. We do have a lot of deer, but we also have like coyotes and bear, and we're kind of in the woods more, and I think deer are more like in the open land. So that is my coneflower detail today, Joanne. I guess you do have problems with deer, and I've heard if you spray like hot pepper, like cayenne, and I don't know what, there's a mixture you can mix together and then spray with a spray bottle on the plants that deer are eating. That kind of deters them a little bit, but I don't know. That seems like kind of a lot of work, and also maybe not so great for the plant. But anyways, have a great rest of your Monday, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thanks for being here.